Yeah, obviously we're really proud of our kids. Fullerton's a really good club. It doesn't take you long when you study their numbers to see that they can really defend, they can really pitch, and they can situationally score. And, I thought Austin just took the ball tonight and really just did a great job. And he battled through some adversity. We made a couple of mistakes behind him defensively, and he just kept battling and battling and battling. And, of course, Smith came in right behind him and really did a nice job. I think there were some conditions in the game tonight, pitching-wise, for both teams that were pretty difficult. And I thought both sides really battled through it and did a great job. So, I think our kids did a great job. I do want to mention, too, I just told our players this. As proud as I am of all these kids and what they did tonight, what Collins did tonight was, I think, is really symbolic of the kind of year he's had and the kind of year that we've had so far. And that is, he made 2 defensive mistakes early in the ball game, and he still wanted the baseball, and he made about 4 big league plays in a row. Most kids kind of shy away from the game when it's not going your way and defensively, and he just kept attacking the baseball and made big-time plays, throwing out runners who can really run at first base. The barehand play on the bunt was unbelievable. The play that took him into foul territory, he had to throw it to home plate and get the out at the plate, was a big-time play. I thought that was pretty symbolic. We got some situational hitting today. We played some good defense for most of the night, but Collins, to me, really stands out because he really turned his day around. Really, really proud of him.
Questions for the student athletes, please. Start down here in the front right.
Austin Robbie Falk, 247. Go through that play that Gavin made that Coach was talking about. He had already made those 2 errors, and he comes back with that play. Just talk about the confidence that you have in him, and also kind of what you saw from that play and what you thought.
Yeah, I think it's, like Coach Cohen said, Gavin just battled through it. And, I told him after that second one that he missed that, he needs to be ready for another one. And that guy right there that was up to plate, he kind of went around a slider right there, and I kind of wanted to do the same thing and hopefully get a soft ground ball that, we came together as a team and kind of said we wanted to stay in right there and try to prevent that run. And luckily that guy hit the ball to Gavin. And, Gavin's a great defender, and he made a heck of a play.
Stay down the front. Ben.
Ben Way, Commercial Dispatch. Wes Johnson was talking earlier in the week about your changeup just being a little flat, and he said y'all worked on some things to correct it. What were those things that y'all worked on, and did you see the effects of those tonight?
Sometimes when I'm throwing my changeup, I'll choke it. Sometimes I'll get around the ball. Most of the time it's me getting around the ball, and tonight when I did feel myself get around the ball, sometimes I was able to make that adjustment, get on top, and had some good sink tonight and had a lot of ground balls.
Stay on the front. Joel.
Joel Coleman, Starful Daily. Jake, after Gavin's play that cut down the run at the plate, you guys come out and get 2 runs the very next inning. What does a play like that do for an offense? The ballpark kind of gets into it and things. Any coincidence, I guess, that you have a 2-run inning after a play like that?
Yeah, it absolutely does. Whenever Gavin makes that play, we were all just, the whole entire field, the whole stadium just got excited. And it really just switched momentum back to us, because they had a runner on third and, kind of pressure us. And Austin made a great pitch. Every single pitch Austin threw tonight had a purpose. And that's the beautiful thing what Austin did tonight. And, even his big misses were on purpose, to get he swings and misses. But he got the ground ball to third, and Gavin made an outstanding play. And it really did change the momentum of the game, and it got us rolling offensively.
Go to the front left, Mike.
Austin, Mike Bonner from the Clarion Ledger. Just to clarify, could you define just what choke means, just so we know exactly what it means when you choke the changeup?
Sometimes I just put it too deep in my palm.
That's what I thought. And then coming off of last week's performance in the SEC tournament, how much did that kind of drive you tonight to kind of bounce back?
Yeah, I knew I needed to come out here tonight and give my team a chance to win. And last week I struggled a little bit, left the ball up. Some of my stuff was just flat. But, like I've said in the past, you just got to battle through it. You got to put that in the rearview mirror and focus on what's in front of you. And tonight that was facing a good Cal State Fullerton team. And I'm just proud of the way the guys played behind me and the way they swung the bat.
Front right, Ben.
Austin, we've talked about Gavin Collins' defensive plays, but there were several others. I know Hollins, in that same inning where he came back over and made the play at second to get out of the inning. You just talk about the defensive effort as a whole tonight.
You can't say much more than than what you said right there. I mean, I was just proud of the guys. Me and John and Nate kind of joke around in between. After they throw the ball down, we always talk about getting over and stuff, and we'll go back and forth talking to each other. But it serves a purpose for us, and it keeps us locked in. And when John was hit that ball, I had no doubt in my mind that he was going to make plays tonight, and he did. So.
Go right behind Bob.
Austin, Coach referred to what you did as battling. I think is a good word. Not your longest outing by any means, but it did seem like every at-bat, every pitch was kind of a battle. Was that maybe one of the more grueling mental games you've had? Maybe
Not as much mental as it was physical. I'm a little bit sore right now, but no. That's just part of it. The humidity was tough out there. I had to go in between innings into the Grisham and cool off, but I wouldn't say it was the toughest mentally, but just keeping my body cooled off and maintaining endurance and stuff like that. So I thought it was good.
Front right, Robbie.
Jake, you've experienced some weekend crowds in the SEC, but a little bit different atmosphere. How has this first regional been for you? What's the atmosphere been like, and what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, but it seems like between every single pitch, someone on the right field fence is asking me something or yelling something at me. It really was an awesome crowd. I mean, every pitch the crowd was into it. Every pitch, the crowd was behind us, and it really did change that game. Anything that went our way, it just erupted every time, and it was a really, really cool experience. Whenever Gavin made that play, I got goosebumps how loud it was. That really was the loudest game I've ever been in.
Back, Steve.
Jake, Steve Robertson with Dogs Bite and Gene's Page. You guys took a lot of aggressive swings early in counts against Eastman. What were you guys seeing that made you feel like that was the way to go?
Yeah, Eastman was an incredible pitcher. He commanded 3 pitches very, very well, and 2 at bats he got me the same way, and made an adjustment the next at bat. But Eastman really did control the ball well tonight, and he got us off timing a couple times, but. Offensively, we had good approaches, and we stayed aggressive, and we stuck to our game plan, and it worked out.
Down here in the front.
Jake, for you today, I think a couple of swings and misses and strikeouts, something we rarely ever see from you. What were they doing to keep you off balance early on?
They were just changing speeds well, and he was controlling. He was throwing exactly where he wanted to throw it. Those 2 at bats, he had a lot of movement on his pitches, and it was just great pitches he made.
Go to the middle, Dave.
David Murray, Dogs Bite. Jake, coming back from those 2 strikeouts, and you got the runner in scoring position there, and some insurance run. What did he throw at you that you hit?
The pitch I hit was a changeup. It was every at bat he kind of changed his plan against me, but that at bat just was able to stay back, barrel something up.
Any more questions for the student athletes? All right, Austin, Jake, thank you. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Mike.
Sorry, Austin. Just one more. When I think the first batter, you struck him out with a changeup, I believe. When you have that going, did you know it was kind of going to be a good day once you kind of had that going?
Yeah, I definitely thought it was going to be a lot better of a day. I thought I was going to get a couple more punch-outs, but, that's baseball. They did a good job of adjusting and putting balls in play. All
right, Austin, Jake, thank you. You're dismissed. We'll now take questions for Coach Cohen. We'll start in the middle with David.
John, on the big play Gavin made, did it help that the ball actually went out of bounds, or the momentum carried him out of bounds to give him a clearer throw at home plate?
Yeah, that probably allowed him to have a lane to throw the baseball, but he still, his momentum is taking him away from his play at the plate. That's a really difficult play to make. I mean, that's 4 plays. Every one of them were pretty daggum difficult, but I think the bunt play was huge, because if that guy's safe, it really changes the nature of that inning, and that was a big league play. I mean, that's what you see on TV every night in the big leagues, and this is a guy who's been playing that position for 9 months. I mean, I know I've said that over and over again, but he's just a fearless competitor, and I think his play, because they came after him, they bunted right at him, and they created some barrel angles at him, and they wanted him to make plays, and he did.
Mike?
John, it's kind of the same thing I asked Austin. When he has that changeup working early, how much confidence did that instill in you that he was going to have a bounce back game?
Yeah, when he does, when he's choking it a little bit and he's throwing his changeup too hard and he's throwing through the movement, when he's got sink, you know, again, it's one of those pitches he can tell you it's coming and you can't get barrel to it. And I think in the early portion of the game, he was really able to do that. But to Fullerton's credit, you know, I think they started sitting on his changeup a little bit, and they were taking some pretty daggum good swings. And I think Holland had to make a couple of plays on some changeups that were hit hard. Obviously, Collins had to make some plays that were hit hard. But, yeah, you know, I can't remember if I don't know if it was a changeup or not on the ball that left the ballpark. But yeah, I mean, they did a good job of adjusting because there were a lot more swings and misses first time through the order than there were in the second and third times through.
We'll go to the front right, Ben.
I know you don't know who your opponent is, but any idea who you're going to go with on the mound tomorrow?
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's going to be either Houston or Pilkington. You know, there's advantages to both. I think, you know, Houston's pitching some big ball games for us, and he's a junior. It's really going to depend on if it's Tech or this bunch from Cal State Fullerton. But we'll sit down and talk about it tonight. I know both those guys, you know, want the ball. I wouldn't be surprised if both those guys get an opportunity to pitch tomorrow night. It's just a question of who we're going to start. So hopefully we'll get to, you know, we'll get to watch that ball game and make that decision.
Going to come front right to Mike.
For Mangum, I think he came back-to-back strikeouts, swinging and misses, and then comes out with that RBI single. What does it say about a freshman making those adjustments in that situation?
Yeah, I mean, the way you get Mangum out is you bounce the ball up there, and, you know, I mean, I tell you what, I think he struck out, I don't know, is it 12 times this year, 14 times? I can't remember, but every one of them has been the same scenario. It's a ball that doesn't make it in the air to home plate. If you throw a ball in the air to home plate, he's going to put some kind of swing on it and make some kind of contact. So, you know, he's a freshman, and he's going to learn how to stop his swing right there. What's amazing is on the second strikeout tonight, he sat there right next to me and told me how they were going to pitch him pitch for pitch, and they did, and he still struck out. So, you know, on a pitch that didn't make it to home plate. So I think, you know, as he gets older, you know, and he's gotten a lot of hits at Mississippi State as a freshman, you know, there more and more people are going to approach him that way.
We'll go to the back, Robbie.
Hey, Coach. Robbie Donahoe from WCBI. 8 of your 9 guys tonight had a hit. It seemed as if everyone found a way to contribute. What does that say about the team effort overall to get that done?
Well, it says that we have some older kids that really want to win, and every one of them, you know, it's hard to get them out the same way twice. That's when it's frustrating as a coach. Sometimes when you have younger players who haven't been through all this kind of stuff, they can get out the same way over and over and over again. When you have older kids who have been through some things and made adjustments, and they're talented kids, it's hard to get them out the same way twice. And I think that's what we have going on with our kids. I think they're doing a good job adjusting pitch by pitch through their at-bats and being pretty unselfish, especially, you know, Reed got down a huge bunt tonight. Holland got down a big bunt for us tonight. So when we're asking them to do that, you know, they're all contributing.
We'll go to the back right, Steve.
Coach, John Holland, Hunter Stovall kind of platooned a bit this year. John's played both games and played well for you. What are you seeing from him right now?
You know, John's just a gamer. He made some plays tonight on some balls that were absolutely crushed, and just stayed on the ball. He made them look a lot easier than they actually were. You know, John is just such a really good, he just has such a great understanding of adjusting from pitch to pitch. You know, defensively, especially breaking balls and fastballs, he will maneuver himself defensively to put himself in a better spot. And that's the thing, you know, pitch after pitch, as a coach, you can't move guys exactly where they need to be. Those guys who can see the ball come out of the hand, they position themselves, you know, right when the pitch is being thrown, and he does a really good job with that. He's a great communicator. He's a great leader on our club. You know, he had that little event tonight, you know, where with the catcher and the whole thing on the swing, and he's such a great competitor. We had to reel him back in a little bit because he was a little bit upset by that, but he came back and got that bunt down for us, defended for us, and just did a great job.
We'll go, Bob.
Back to that word battling. It's a one-run game through 6 innings, but a lot of contact, a lot of almost things happening for a pitcher, a guy like Austin. Where do you have to be mentally to push yourself through all that and stay on top of it?
Well, he's grown. You know, Austin's grown so much as a pitcher. You know, I mean, just his ability really to locate his fastball on both sides of the plate. And really, I think there was a time in Austin's career where if things weren't going his way, he'd be bothered by that. And now he's such a mature kid. He can deal with anything. You know, he can deal with a mistake defensively behind him. He can deal with, not locating a pitch. He just doesn't make 2 bad pitches in a row. And that's a great quality to have when you're pitching at this level because, if you throw 2 bad pitches in a row, you're really putting the hitter in the driver's seat.
Got time for 2 more. We'll go Joel and then Mike.
You guys obviously have 2 chances now to finish off the regional and advance and things. Does that allow you guys to play looser in a game tomorrow, or more loose tomorrow, or does that provide more pressure to go ahead and finish this thing off?
Tell you what, if you're in our locker room or you're in our dugout with our kids, it's hard to imagine they could possibly be looser than they've been really all year. They have a good time. They have fun playing baseball at Mississippi State. We might have some shortcomings and we might have some, issues every once in a while with the way we play, but it's never because they're tight, ever. Though those guys have a good time.
Mike.
John, what's going through your mind when it's raining last night and the delays and the postponement they have to play today? I guess what's your reaction as a coach seeing all that play out in front of you?
We're all amateur meteorologists, right? Everybody in the baseball coaching profession, but I think we got fortunate tonight. I was looking at the radar during the game because we were trying to make decisions really with Reed. We were going to get Reed out there when it was a closer ball game. And I saw, it was in Eupora. It looked like on my phone it was in Eupora at least. And they were getting hammered. And I'm thinking, man, is this going to clip us? How much rain are we going to get? Are we going to be delayed for 30 minutes? Are we going to be delayed for an hour? And Brandon Harden, who does such a great job for us, who takes care of our fields, and he just walked in. He said, hey, look, I think this thing's going to miss us, and I think we can play through it. And that was a huge moment for me. We didn't tell our kids that, but, if we had to go through what Fullerton, I'm going to give a lot of credit to Fullerton here. You talk about what they and Louisiana Tech went through and showing up this morning, waking them up at 6:30, having them here at 8 a.m., playing a ball game, then sending them back to the hotel and having to rest for 6 or 7 hours. That's a tough day when you're competing, for championships. So I thought, they had a really mature approach, and they played awfully well for having to, have to deal with the weather. We've been very, very fortunate that we have not had to deal with that.